The story begins by introducing a bald and strong man named Bradley who works as a car mechanic. Like every day, Bradley arrived at the garage with a broken car. But when he got there, he saw that the garage owner was eagerly waiting just for him, which surprised him a little. Then the garage owner calls him into his office. Hearing this, Bradley realizes that he's about to be fired, and that's exactly what happens. The owner tells him that the garage is going through financial difficulties these days, so he's being forced to let some workers go. But this was just an excuse because Bradley was a bit of a tough guy, and the owner wanted to replace him with someone who would flatter him. Now, since Bradley was a tough man, he doesn't argue with the owner, goes to the locker room to collect his things, and quietly drives home in his car. And yes, friends, this is where Bradley's downfall begins. A downfall that stays with him all the way to the end of the story and ends with him. Anyway, Bradley parks his car in front of his house, and that's when he sees his wife Lauren sitting in her car and talking to someone on the phone. Bradley becomes suspicious of her, so to find out the truth, he stares at her for a while, and once he's sure, he immediately goes to Lauren and asks her to open the car door. His wife says, "You got off work pretty early today." Just then, Bradley notices a mark on her neck that looks like someone's lips, and he tells Lauren, "Give me your phone." But Lauren refuses to give him her phone. At this, Bradley snatches her phone from her, and his suspicion turns out to be correct. She had been talking to another man on the phone. Bradley, angry, tells Lauren to go inside the house. Lauren says, "At least listen to me. I said go inside the house." Then Lauren quietly went inside the house. He had just been fired from his job a little while ago, and now his wife's affair. This made him even more troubled. So he started taking out all his anger on Lauren's car. How? See for yourself. Yes, he was so furious that he didn't even realize when his hands got badly injured. After this, he calms himself down, goes inside the house, and asks his wife how long she has been with another man. Lauren confesses everything, admitting that she has been having an affair with someone else for the past 3 months. Actually, Bradley's wife had an abortion a few days ago, which left her feeling depressed, and Bradley was often busy with his work. Because of this, Laurie realizes that he should have given Lauren more time, and he even apologizes to Lauren for this. And he says that from today, from this very moment, the two of them will start a new life together. Lauren agrees. After this, Bradley tells Lauren that he has been fired from his job and from now on he will be working for a man named Gil, who is a drug lord. The moment Lauren hears Gil's name, she flatly refuses, saying that he will not work with Gil, and reminds him that he himself had said he would never work with Gil. Bradley says yes, but under these circumstances, we can't live like a happy family. He says that it takes money to run a family, and right now, he has no other option. He also tells Lauren that he will do this job with the utmost caution. After this, the story jumps 18 months ahead, where Bradley's job was to find a drug courier in an apartment who delivered packets to all the drug dealers. After meeting that dealer, Bradley gives him his goods. After finishing his work, he returns home, and now Bradley's life had completely changed because he was earning a lot of money from this job. Now he lives in a big house, owns 2 or 3 luxury cars, and in just a few days, Lauren is about to give birth to a child, which will make them even happier. But as they say, the outcome of a wrong deed is always wrong. Anyway, Bradley brings Lauren to the bedroom, but just as the two get a chance to talk, Bradley gets a call from Gil, who asks him to come to his house immediately. Then Bradley quickly takes his car and heads out to meet Gil. It's clear from Lauren's face that she's not at all happy with Bradley's work. Meanwhile, in just a short while, Bradley arrives at the place in his car, and here we meet the drug mafia Gil, for whom Bradley works. After meeting, the two discuss business. Gil says that he has a friend named Eleazar, who has significant influence in Mexico. He needs to get an important job done for him. A little while later, Eleazar also arrives there with his 2 men, Roman and Pedro. Then Eleazar tells Bradley that he needs him to do an important job, and that his men, Roman and Pedro, will also help him with this task. But Bradley flatly refuses to work with him because one of his men, Roman, seemed like too much of a junkie to him. He was afraid that Roman would act recklessly and carelessly, which could get them caught by the police. Defending both of his men, Eleazar says that they are his most trustee. When Bradley's child is born, he will get 3 months of leave. After thinking for a bit, Bradley agrees and tells Eliezer that he will take full responsibility for this job, and during the work, both of Eliezer's men will have to follow his instructions. Eliezer agrees. Then Bradley gives Roman a small test and asks him, "Roman, if I tell you to throw away the goods, what will you do?" Roman replies, "I'll throw them away." And with that, the agreement is made between the two. After that, the three of them arrive at a port at night. But before boarding the ship, Roman starts acting on his own. Before Bradley can get angry, Pedro says to Roman, "Roman, we have an agreement between us. We have to listen to Bradley." Then Bradley pilots the boat himself, and after reaching the location, he carefully looks around and stops the boat. After that, Pedro puts on a diving suit, goes into the water, and brings up a box from below. Can you guess what's in that box? Let me tell you, that box contains nothing but $3 million worth of drugs that had been hidden there. Then they take out all the packets from it, throw the box back into the water, and return to the harbor. But on the way, Bradley suddenly throws his packet into the water and tells the other two to do the same. But Roman and Pedro ignore his warning and instead beat up Bradley. Bradley controls his anger, lets them go, and starts heading towards the boat himself. And as soon as the two move a little further ahead, the police suddenly surround them and gunfire erupts from both sides. Bradley didn't want to get caught, so he thinks about quietly slipping away. But just then, he hears the voices of the police officers who are calling for help. Bradley comes up with the idea to help the police by pretending to be an ordinary man so that the police won't suspect him. Then Bradley goes from behind and first shoots Pedro and then Roman as well. But unfortunately, the police arrest him. After this, he's brought in for interrogation. There, a detective named Watkins questions him about the drugs and also asks what he was doing there, and so on. Bradley tries to mislead him, but the detective becomes suspicious that Bradley is a clever man, and the detective can't find any solid evidence against him. But he had killed 2 people, which is why he gets caught. Before the court hearing, he is allowed to meet his wife one last time. Bradley tells Lauren to take care of herself and their unborn child. Bradley He is sent to a jail called Nam. Upon arrival, he is asked to remove all his valuable belongings. Even his wedding ring is taken off. After this, his health test is conducted. After the test, he is sent to an upstairs cell with an old prisoner named Lefty. There, Bradley and Lefty meet the prison management officer, Andre. Andre explains the prison rules to Bradley. One of the primary rules is that whenever the prison bell rings, he must immediately come out of his cell for the mandatory roll call. After this, Bradley is put into his cell. Once inside, he immediately starts blaming himself for working with Eliezer. Then, due to exhaustion, he falls into a deep sleep. And when it's time for roll call, all the other prisoners come out of their cells and stand in line. But Bradley is still fast asleep, because of which all the prisoners have to go hungry. And when Bradley finally comes out after a long time, Andre gets angry at him and says, "Didn't I explain the rules to you?" Andre gives him a final warning that from now on he must maintain discipline and follow all the prison rules. After this, the scene shifts to his wife, who is sleeping at home when she suddenly senses that someone has broken into the house. Lauren immediately grabs a gun from the drawer, and whoever these people are, they probably came with the intention of kidnapping her. Suddenly, Lauren is attacked with a taser gun and collapses unconscious to the floor. The scene shifts back to Bradley, where Lefty tells him that someone has come to see him. When Bradley arrives, he meets a woman named Dr. Denise. Denise tells him that she received a call from Dr. Placid, who is his wife's doctor. Denise tells him that Dr. Placid informed her that Lauren is having a lot of complications with her pregnancy, and he wants to meet him at 10 o'clock a.m. tomorrow. Hearing this, Bradley is a bit surprised because Lauren had never mentioned any doctor named Placid to him before. Anyway, the next day he meets Dr. Placid, but Bradley doesn't know him at all, because in reality, he isn't Lauren's doctor at all. In fact, he's Eliezer's man, just pretending to be a doctor. He then explains that due to the failure of the previous transaction, his boss Eliezer has suffered a loss of $3 million, which is about 27 crore rupees in INR. After this, Dr. Placid shows him a picture of Lauren, whom they have kidnapped. Dr. Placid further says that Eliezer is very angry with you, and he is after your wife and your unborn. It has happened, and that man is locked up in Redcliffe Jail's Block 99, whose name is Christopher. Dr. Placid tells Bradley that if he goes to Redcliffe's Jail Block 99 and kills the man named Christopher, then Eliezer will forgive him, and both his wife and child will be released as well. Hearing this, Bradley becomes completely hopeless. He can't figure out whether he should do it or not. After this, Andre is just about to take him back to his cell. Suddenly, Bradley takes off his shoes and attacks Andre, starting to beat him up. Bradley is doing all this deliberately so that he gets transferred to Redcliffe Prison. Andre also gets angry at his behavior and starts hitting Bradley with his baton, and in the end, Bradley kills Andre and breaks one of his hands. Then, hearing Andre's screams, the other guards arrive and handcuff Bradley, taking him down to the lower cell. But since Bradley wanted to get to Redcliffe Prison, he starts fighting again and begins beating up those 3 guards as well. Seeing Bradley's behavior, one of the guards starts giving him electric shocks with a taser, and this is exactly what he had planned. Considering him a dangerous prisoner, they transfer him to Redcliffe Prison. When he arrives at Redcliffe, he meets the prison's nasty warden, Tex, and his 4 men. Tex tells him, "You made the biggest mistake by coming here. Redcliffe Prison is very strict, the security here is extremely tight, and you'll get hellish accommodations here." After this, Bradley is taken for inspection. Once the inspection is complete, instead of being put in Block 99, he is placed in Block 59. Bradley is shocked when he sees the cell. He remembers several things Tex said about how he would get hellish accommodations here. He sees that his cell is extremely dirty. Because the previous inmate had defecated in the cell and left it, the stench was unbearable. But Bradley was ready to endure all this for his family. Then he quietly took off his undershirt, covered his nose with it, and went to sleep. After a while, a guard knocked on his cell door, and he was allowed to go outside for 60 minutes. Coming out to get some fresh air, Bradley starts looking for Christopher. Just then, a man named Derek comes up to him. Bradley asks Derek, "Do you know Christopher?" Hearing this, Derek clearly said that there isn't a single prisoner named Christopher in Radcliffe Jail, which leaves Bradley shocked. Then Bradley thinks about going over to a group of prisoners who are working out nearby. But Derek stops him from going to them, because all of them are psychos. But Bradley still goes over to them, after which the prisoners get angry at him. Bradley also starts provoking them to fight, and here, Bradley also deliberately starts fighting with them, and he was doing all this quite intentionally so that he would be considered a truly dangerous prisoner and subsequently sent to Block 99, where he could then go and finish off Christopher in order to save his beloved family. Just then, a vigilant guard fires a warning shot to immediately stop their intense fight. Hearing the sudden gunshot, other guards quickly arrive at the chaotic scene, but Bradley causes yet another significant commotion and ultimately ends up brutally beating the guards instead. This is an underground cell, essentially a solitary confinement cell. Bradley is taken there, and to break his spirit, they first put him in a remote-controlled electronic shield and lock him in his cell, where shards of glass are scattered all around. Then, using the remote, Tugs shocks him with electricity to further subdue him. The scene then shifts back to Lauren, who has been kidnapped. From this, it becomes clear that those people are planning to perform an abortion on Lauren. The scene then shifts back to Bradley, who is lying in his cell, weakened and unconscious from the electric shocks. When he regains consciousness, he starts shouting Christopher's name loudly. At that moment, a prisoner in the neighboring cell tells him that there is no inmate named Christopher in Block 99. Hearing this, Bradley is shocked. Just then, some guards approach his and he's also captured. On top of that, Bradley killed Pedro, who is the husband of his sister, so now he wants to take revenge on Bradley. He even robbed guards to be on side. After that, Bradley's continuously tortured will shocks breaking down. Then Elliot shows him a picture of his wife, which Archer Bassett had sent. And the remote laser of that electronic shield is right nearby, continuously electrocuting poor Bradley and making him suffer greatly. Bradley is completely exhausted and hopeless because all his efforts to save his family have now gone in vain. After this, he talks to the prisoner in the adjacent cell, and during that conversation, he comes up with an idea. He removes the sole from his shoe and places it on the shield's sensor, which stops the electric shocks. A little while later, the guards come again and take him to the corridor to check if he is all right or not. And when the guards tell him to go back to his cell, Bradley makes an excuse and says that he needs a little time to get some fresh air. When Bradley refuses to listen, the 2 guards start shocking him again, but they have no idea that the shield has stopped working. However, Bradley pretends to be shocked in front of them and, seizing the opportunity, suddenly attacks both guards. He even kills one of the guards, which terrifies the other guard. He thinks, "Damn, this guy is like the god of death." Then Bradley snatches the keys from that guard and locks him up in his own cell. After that, Brad heads straight towards the cell where Elijah is being held. When he gets there, he first encounters those psycho inmates, and Bradley starts beating them up badly one by one. He crushes one inmate's face with his own feet, gouges out another's eye, and kills him. And as for the third and last prisoner, he beats him half to death like a dog, and finally kicks him so hard in the face that his facial bones break. Now just think about what he's going to do to the one because of whom he was separated from his wife and unborn child forever. What is he going to do to him? First of all, he lands a powerful punch on him, knocking him to the ground. Then he snatches his phone and, threatening him quite intensely, tells him to call his men and stop Lorraine's abortion. But Eliezer is incredibly stubborn and absolutely refuses to do as Bradley says. Then Bradley brutally breaks his right leg, and finally Eliezer gives in and stops the abortion. Bradley also tells him to take Lorraine safely to Gil, ensuring her well-being. After this, Bradley drags Eliezer to his cell and locks him inside with the guards. But just as he is about to firmly close the cell door, Tax and his men suddenly arrive. Tax asks about his 2 men. Bradley replies that one of his men is now dead, but one is still very much alive, and if he opens the door, he'll certainly kill him too. Actually, Bradley is patiently waiting for Gil's crucial call so that he can know his beloved wife is truly safe. On the other hand, at Elieger's request, Dr. Placid and the same Korean doctor take Bradley's wife to Gil and safely hand her over to him. Dr. Placid also points a gun at Gil to make sure he doesn't try anything clever. But as soon as they walk a little distance, Gil suddenly pulls out a sniper and shoots Dr. Placid in the head, killing him. Then Lauren takes the sniper from him and kills the Korean doctor who had come to perform her abortion. Meanwhile, Bradley gets a call from Gil, who tells him that Lauren is now safe and that from now on, he will take care of her. Then Gil gives the phone to Lauren. After that, Bradley says his final words to his unborn child: to grow up to be a good person, stay healthy, be wise, and live a good life. Bradley is very sad because he knows that now he will never be able to see his child. Outside, standing angrily, Tags asks him if he's done with his crying now. To this, Bradley says, "Just give me 1 more minute." Then he goes back to his cell and starts beating Eliezer mercilessly. He keeps beating him until his head is separated from his body. Eventually, Tags loses his patience, comes inside, and shoots Bradley in the head, killing him on the spot. And with that, our story for today comes to an end. From this, we learn that just like Bradley, sometimes troubles also befall us in life. But that doesn't mean we should choose the wrong path. Remember this, my friend. The result of a wrong deed is always wrong, just like what happened with Bradley. Anyway, I'm sounding a bit too much like a wise old man now. So, let's meet again with another story. Bye-bye.